What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast, post Royal Rumble edition. I think we've got to start with probably the biggest news story of the week, of the year, of quite some time. WWE stock and the firing of George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, the co-presidents of WWE.
Vince's way of killing WWE so no one gets it after he does.
Pretty much, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, George Barrios and Michelle Wilson were the co-presidents of the WWE. They've been with the company well over 10 years. Barrios and Wilson came up with the WWE Network. They were instrumental in that. They were instrumental in the Fox deal, bringing the billions of dollars to the WWE for all their TV rights deals. And yesterday, Vince McMahon decided to can them. And he decided to can them without any idea as to who would replace them. I think that was the big thing, was that there was no succession plan in place, that he essentially woke up yesterday and decided that
it's all their fault.
That something's their fault, and we don't quite know what yet. I can make some speculations, but we don't quite know exactly what is apparently their fault. So they've been gone. They got $8.5 to $9 million payout each, because that was that's public record as to what their dividends would be if they got fired. So I shouldn't think they're crying today, but yeah,
I'm in the wrong job.
I know, right? 8.5 million for losing your job. It's ridiculous.
I was going to get that if I lost my job yesterday.
if you lose your job, they're going to hand over 8 million to you. That'd be great. I'd lose my job every month.
My job don't have 8 million to give.
So Michelle Wilson and George Barrios are out. They've got in a new guy temporarily, and this only comes 7 days before WWE reports their Q4 2019 financials and their entire 2019 year-end reports. So there's obviously lots of speculation that this is linked to the idea that that report is not going to be as stellar as what one would
so they
hope.
can use this as an excuse to say this is because of this.
That oh yeah, we know all these numbers are really bad, but we fired the 2 people that are at fault.
Then why fire them?
Yeah. These numbers are really bad. It was all George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, but they're gone now. I assume that's probably going to be they're the scapegoats for what's to come. So, stock closed on Thursday at $62 a share. After market trading, it dropped 25%. It's currently trading at $48 a share as I'm speaking right now, which is down 22% of when it closed on Thursday. It's wiped off over $1 billion in the valuation of WWE. In one fell swoop, $1 billion for that company was lost. That's insane. It's fucking insane. It's one of the biggest things which has happened to that company since the launch of the network.
Vince McMahon using his shareholders right now as toilet paper.
Yeah, but do you know what baffles me about this is that he's done this. He's got rid of the 2 people who do run the company. They are de facto leaders of the company. 2 weeks before the XFL launches, and he's going to be spending more time doing that. That to me is one of the weirdest things about it.
I told you he's getting off the injury before he does.
Yeah, so no one can have it. If I can't have it, it's so weird to me, this whole thing. But so my predictions for next week or this week when the report comes out is that the revenue that they predicted is not going to be as much anyway. That network subscriptions are going to be down. So they reckon it was down last quarter, I should say. And I reckon it's probably going to be down again this quarter. So that's going to be a big factor. Maybe as much as 5 to 10% probably down this quarter if it's following the same trajectory as it was following. They haven't announced an agreement in the Middle East and North Africa, which is Saudi Arabia and all that. They haven't announced the TV rights deals with them.
Yeah, but that didn't quite seem to be their fault though.
No, we don't really know much about it, but no, it doesn't seem to be all their fault. I mean, the Middle East side of it doesn't necessarily seem to be their fault. In some ways, there seems to be a lot of issues with their side of it and the WWE side of it. Yeah. So there's no MENA agreement at the moment, which they promised shareholders that they would have had in Q2, and then when Q3 came, they said, "Oh no, we're still working on it." And it seems like that was a big issue. That was some of the big issues that were going on backstage at the last Crown Jewel event, was the fact that they weren't coming to an agreement on the show.
Well, that none of their
They
superstars
weren't.
could get home.
Yeah, and they weren't being paid for those events either on time. So they've got another event February 27th, and
to once again screw over the British public again.
Yeah, so no, we're going to go over to Saudi Arabia rather than go to any other international destination, which actually gives a huge amount of money.
When we're supposed to have the British pay-per-view.
Well, it was rumoured a different international pay-per-view, which UK could have been a thing, and then they gave it to the Saudis. Originally on the 20th of February was what they were saying, an international pay-per-view. And then they decided on the 27th of February they'd give the Saudis another Super Showdown. I don't know.
Be interesting to see how many of their wrestlers actually want to go to Saudi.
It's going to be really interesting because lots of them saw it off after last time. A lot of them did publicly.
I know there's still a fair few of them that are like that. It's a paycheck at the end of the day.
People like Rusev have publicly said, "Hey, look, they're paying me a lot of money to do that."
Carl Anderson still wants his second pull.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, look, they come on, and I don't fault the talent for that. I really don't. Like, come on, at the end of the day, they're doing their job. I fault Vince McMahon and those motherfuckers in Titan Towers for signing the deal in the first place. But yeah, I mean, things like the Saudi deal not being as profitable as what they'd hoped, the television deal's not being done. India, which was supposed to be WWE's second biggest market, they haven't got a TV deal there. So the Middle East and North Africa television deal ran out 2 days ago, and they're not on television there. They're not got a proper television deal in India or redo in India. They signed with BT Sports here in the UK at a significantly lower revenue than what they were on at Sky, significantly lower. So, and also we don't actually know how much they're getting paid for NXT on USA. You know, Dave Meltzer said 30 million. Some people are saying 60 million. There are other analysts out there who are saying that it could actually be nothing. It could be zero. They could be paying production costs. So there's going to be lots of things which come out of this report.
Nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, if they're paying production costs, I mean, that's fine. Because I mean, that was basically what the AEW deal was at first. But there's going to be a lot of things which come out of this. How well was Christmas in merchandise? Do people really give a shit? Now John Cena isn't around. Are they buying their merch, as much?
Yeah, I suppose he's a bit busy being Fast and Furious.
Very fast. So it's like there's going to be a lot of things. Social media numbers don't matter. But I guarantee on that call, they're going to be like, hey, our social media engagement's up. And it's like, okay, cool. Your live attendance is down. I tell you, they're only running 7 house shows in February. 7. I think that's good because it means the talent aren't going to be freaking breaking and dying all the time.
Well, I think someone else has informed me that they saw from someone else, I believe, on YouTube. This is where apparently Triple H and Vince McMahon have been knocking heads recently because apparently Vince McMahon has been asking for like fewer.
Yeah.
Not Vince. Triple H has been asking for fewer dates for the guys so they get a chance to rest.
Yeah.
And Vince is like, now I'm going to kill him.
I mean, at some points they were doing 8 shows a week, because at their peak at some points they were doing 2 shows a day. They were doing a morning, an afternoon show and an evening show, and on like weekends or whatever. And then they were doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, TV days, 2 days a week. Some days a pay-per-view. And then they were doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Unless you're Randy Orton, yeah.
Unless you're Randy Orton, yeah. But it was like they were working it. So I think it's great. I think it's great the idea that they're only going to do 1 or 2 a week. I think you need house shows. So I think it's a perfect time to try things out, try new gimmicks out, do that, and have some fun.
But you don't want to kill the wrestlers you've got, even though you've got like 100,000 wrestlers in there at the moment. But
yeah, so many. So yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting, is seeing on their reduced house show schedule if they're actually finally making any damn money from the damn thing. But this is a big deal. I mean, $1 billion was lost from WWE in a matter of literally 25 minutes, which is insane, absolutely insane. And mainly it's because they're quite incompetent. Like, they're really incompetent. But the weird thing is the statement that was issued by Vince McMahon was, I haven't got it to hand, but it was said something along the lines of, we wish George and Michelle all the best, but we didn't agree, we couldn't see eye to eye on future business operations, on whatever it was, the international development, meaning that, they wanted to scale back certain things and they wanted to do lots of international stuff and they wanted to do this. And Vince McMahon, God knows what he wants to do, I have no idea.
Kill the business. I don't know that.
It's so bizarre. I'm really interested. On this Thursday, I'm going to be on the conference call. I'm going to live tweet it and I'm going to live tweet the report and stuff and have a look at and try and break through it all, because there's going to be a lot there. It's interesting. But anyway, on to the Royal Rumble. Overall, the entire event, what did you think?
It was a good event. There's some bits, like, as I said to you before, the Brock bit I felt went on, with just him, it went on a little bit too long. They could have toned it down a little bit and got a few more guys in. But at the same time, my favourite moment from it all was Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar.
That was so good. It was so good because it was like, and do you know what really made that really good was there's lots of points in WWE where they don't tell you things, you know, like they don't inform you of stuff which has happened.
Yeah.
So like, here's a good example, like the Santina Morella bullshit. When that was coming down, like we know the thing of him and Beth.
Yeah, I said to you earlier about a friend who didn't even realise back.
Exactly. So like they made a throwaway line when Santina came down about, oh, him and Beth have a load of backstory. But if you haven't been watching, because that was 11 years ago, 11, 12 years, if you weren't watching all those years ago, you have no idea what that backstory is. They did a great job when Shelton come down and being like, but these guys were teammates at the University of Minnesota, they trained together, Paul Heyman brought them in, blah, blah, blah.
It's about the same thing as them being tag teams together
Yeah.
on OVW.
I think they did a great job of doing that just for him to fuck Shelton up. I think that was great.
The thing is, it was quite good for how they both reacted coming into it, and Shelton and Paul. And
I think Brock done a lot for a lot of people in this match. He put a lot of people over quite strong. I mean, Keith Lee was made to look very, very strong. When he came down and Brock's in there going, oh, big guy, you're a big guy. Oh, that's this motherfucker. Like, he was like, I love that. And Keith Lee, I mean, like, I'm so high on Keith Lee. That's the biggest stage he's ever been on. And he took that well. I said to you, though, I'm not happy about how they ended that.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about how they ended
irritated with John
Keith
Morrison being in that first bit.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like the fact that they threw him out, especially because he's new back. I don't like that. I get why they've done it, because it was like people were expecting him to do his spot and stuff, and they thought, oh, if we throw him out, people are going to boo the shit out of Brock for it. But also, man, there's so many guys back there that could have been in that spot. Nobody's, you know. There's give them a Zack Ryder or Kurt Hawkins, a Singh brothers, someone that's not doing something right now, rather than John Morrison. That annoyed me a little bit. I did love the Big E, Kofi, Rey Mysterio sort of like all coming together and jeering each other up, and Brock like jumping off of Big E's back to take out. That was insane. Like, no, I thought it was great. Just to lead up to Ricochet kicking him in the nuts and Drew hitting that Claymore kick and knocking him out. I thought it was great. I thought the whole planning of that. You're probably right. It probably could have been shortened by a little bit. Brock looked fucking shattered by the end.
You can't blame him. He's used to only going for like 15
yeah.
minutes.
And he was having to do lots of heavy lifting, lots of physically picking people up and just chucking them around. So it's like I think he went to give...
he enjoyed the bits where he got
break. Yeah, he needed it. It's like he picked up Ricochet at one point and he collapsed. You see, he went to do a backbreaker on Ricochet, and as he done it, he just collapsed to the floor because he was obviously so tired. But it was like when MVP's music hit, Brock was there dancing to MVP's music. He was jamming out. He was loving it.
Got me MVP looked in good shape.
Yeah, he's good. He's...
MVP, from what is out of all, it was the biggest surprise. I just never thought I'd see that again in WWE.
Yeah, that was I enjoyed seeing MVP. Obviously, we had Edge's return, which was fucking phenomenal. Like, that was just phenomenal. Like when it happened, we had it rumoured for 6 months.
It's been rumoured for a while, so I wasn't overly surprised because I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
But it was still great to hear the music kick in, him come out, being a bit grey and very skinny.
I think the one thing, he looked ripped though, didn't he? He looked shredded. Like,
even when he come out for like Raw, you can see whether he's tiny. You're like, you lost a lot of weight, didn't you?
Yeah, because when he left them, he was getting a bit pudgy. He was not like fat, but he was getting a bit like pudgy. But no, he looked great, and he looked like he hadn't missed a step. There was just the worst thing. Fucking Kevin Dunn, though, when Edge came out, he comes out for his first match in years and years and years. He goes to hit his spear, and they pan to the fucking crowd when he hits Dolph Ziggler with that spear. Jesus, mother of Christ! Like, it's just this. And I saw.
But I didn't really think Kevin Dunn was doing much in the thing anymore.
So he was listed as director for that match. He was actually listed on the run sheet as being the person calling the shot. So I'm going to blame that bucktooth motherfucker for it. That drove me insane. Do you know what? Lots of people on Twitter agreed with me when I put that up and stuff. And there was one fucker who said, they missed one shot. It's just one shot. They do millions of other things right. What? How many times have they done this stuff?
Is he watching the highlights?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, they do this weekly. Every week they miss shit like this. I know AEW does it all the time as well, but also AEW's new.
AEW's still learning.
Yeah, and WWE, they're $1 billion entertainment company that does this for a living. That drove me insane. because it's like it's not hard. So now they've edited it in to the WWE Network. You can now go back and they've edited it in, yeah, because they've got obviously they had multiple camera angles, so they put it up on.
They took the kid person who was on
The cell phone.
Yeah,
because they have all these different cameras. Because they had a camera focusing on Edge doing it, they just decided to pan to one which was focusing on the fucking crowd.
Yeah, I think because I couldn't watch it live because of work, but I believe when I watched it, it was solid.
Right, exactly. Which is fine. That's fine. But it's like, don't do live entertainment if you can't do live. You know what I mean? It's so weird. But Dolph Ziggler actually tweeted out about it. Ziggler tweeted out saying. A very
you missed me get speared, did you?
Yeah, it was like a very important historic moment was missed last night. And he tweeted out saying, "Has anyone got any cell phone footage of it?" Because it's like he got hit by the spear and he sold it because it's Dolph. He sells it like $1 million, you know, and he wanted to see it, and so it's completely ridiculous that he managed to actually miss that. But okay, other than that, Edge's return was incredible. AJ got fucked up on one, dislocated his shoulder from one of the spears because so he's out now for 4 to 6 weeks.
He tried to oversell something.
He did. He oversold it. He took a spear and instead of just taking the back bump spear, he done a flip. I don't know if you remember, he done the flip. So he took the spear and then flipped. Yeah, so he done a flip and landed, and so he dislocated his shoulder. If you go back and watch the match, you can see him go down straight after and grab his shoulder and go over to the corner. And back when Baron Corbin comes in, Baron Corbin goes over to him. And then he goes over to Edge and obviously tells Edge to throw AJ out so AJ can leave. So AJ left. Dislocated shoulder about 4 to 6 weeks. He said on Twitch, AJ said on Twitch that it's nothing Edge done wrong. He just got a bit overzealous in trying to make Edge look even better than he looked.
You got to also work with the same right person with the right spirit to do that.
Yeah, you know, and obviously if Edge wasn't expecting it and he sort of pinned him to the ground, you know, because it wasn't the right sort of spear. But you know, it's one of those things which happen. But Shane McMahon, he put together this match, which I think is incredible.
Everyone thought Shane McMahon was at home having a beer.
This is his first time like properly back into the fold.
Doing Pat Patterson's
doing Pat Patterson's role, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, him, Abyss, Jamie Noble, Paul Heyman put together this one.
He used to say Brock bit.
Brock and Paul Heyman laid out his bit together. That's great. I love the fact that Brock's getting involved and actually doing shit. I think that's great. And yes,
he needs to be doing something more often, don't he?
Yeah. But I think Brock was really invested in that. I think he was.
You tell you what, actually, I think what probably annoyed me more than anything was Michael Cole's announcement. When it come to Brock on trying to sell him, oh, no one can say now that he's not a fighting champion. Well, I can, his belt's not on the line. Oh, well, you can't say he's never here because he's here right now and going through fair. I can because he's still rarely ever hit.
When's he going to be in 2 weeks' time? Yeah.
Fair enough, he's been here for almost a month. Oh, and then he showed up again afterwards.
This is the thing about Brock, right? Which it's not Brock's fault. Once again, it's never actually Brock's fault. He signed a contract which Vince McMahon gives him. But when he's there, it's great. He doesn't need the belt. He never needs that belt. I think that's the issue. Like if he came and went every 6 months and done a big program and left again, people wouldn't care. It's because he's got that belt.
Yeah.
Like people would have no issue with him coming in for big moments if he didn't have the title.
It's just because they keep. I wouldn't mind him having a title if there was a big enough gap between it.
Yeah.
But it is a title, and within 4
they
months,
panic.
Another 4 months, they give the belt back.
They're doing the thing which they used to do with Cena, you know, where like they take it off Cena, put it on someone, the ratings would dip, and they go, "Oh fuck," and they put it straight back on Cena. So they've been doing that with Brock.
You just don't give someone a chance properly to hold a title to try and make something out of it.
Yeah, it's true. I hope so much they actually pull the trigger on Drew. They give him the win, and he gets the damn. I hope so much. I found
Scotland's probably going to riot after having those footage.
Yeah, the footage around Glasgow looked insane. God.
With Drew getting out, that's normally the only reaction you'll get from that is when someone's winning a World Cup fight.
Yeah, that's incredible. I even dug up some footage. I don't know if you saw. I posted it on Twitter. I dug up some footage of Drew from WCPW's World Cup from here.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually here in our city.
Yeah, I remember that.
And where he said, I guarantee I will be the fucking first British World Heavyweight Champion when he goes to WWE. Man, I hope it's true. God, like if they put the rocket boost on him and really go for it, I think it can be great. And him and Brock could put on a great match together because Drew is ridiculously athletic, Brock's ridiculously athletic. So they could have a proper.
As long as it goes right and things, and who knows, Brock Lesnar might launch a belt at a 76-year-old man at that point.
Yeah, I was about to say, if they don't put that belt on Drew, then I think Brock's going to be shoving it sideways up Vince McMahon's arse in Gorilla this time. No, I think they definitely chose the right man. Obviously, I chose Roman for our predictions, which is insane because literally last year you chose Roman, I chose Drew. But yeah, I chose.
Well, I'm pretty sure we were both wrong.
Yeah, we were both wrong in that one. Yeah, but they chose the right man. Absolutely. I mean, we said in that video last week that I was like, they can go either way, and I'm happy with either way. I thought that they'd have Drew eliminate Brock and then Roman win to go on and face the Fiend. This works. I just now have no idea how they get Roman in the Fiend. I mean, they've got enough time. Definitely got enough time.
When it comes to the Fiend, how does the Fiend get any opponent? You know, just goes to find someone and then just takes their out.
Yeah, that's true. But no, I think definitely.
For some weird reason, they're big.
I think definitely Drew was the right person for that, and I think the crowd popped massive for him as well, which is great. I think Charlotte was probably the right choice, but you knew it was going to happen. I just didn't want it to happen. I think if they do go the rumored route of Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, that could be awesome.
What did it last year?
As long as Charlotte doesn't win at Mania, but I feel maybe they might put Charlotte over and put her as the NXT champion. And I don't think that would be a good call.
The thing is, I don't know though, because of how well of a good year Rhea Ripley had in 2019. She probably had one of the best runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
For anyone.
That's what I mean. So it's like, I'd prefer it if she was to win, and then they could bring her up to the main roster as a mega star.
There is no main roster anymore.
Yeah, okay. There's no main roster anymore. Tell the fucking ratings that, you know.
I'm just going by what apparently WWE
says. Yeah, what WWE says. There's no main roster. My ass. Yeah, no, and talking about WrestleMania, we've obviously going to have Edge versus Randy Orton, and at the end
if Edge gets back up, right?
Yeah, Edge gets back up. So at the
it's True Grit where he gets back up, and well, I'm still waiting for it.
At the end of Raw, they closed with Randy Orton coming down, saying that maybe they should reform Rated RKO. That was actually a great moment in the Royal Rumble when because I'd kind of forgotten, like not really forgotten, but you know what I mean.
No, I completely remember about them.
I remember about them, but I just remember when they actually came together. I was like, oh Christ!
I just like the way this Randy Orton at that point saying, "Man, you're ripped and all this."
Yeah. I loved Randy Orton's verbiage. I thought it was great. I loved him saying like the old Randy Orton was a bit of a psychopath. Like, you know, I loved that. The fact that actually, because it was true.
He used to smash up hotel rooms and couldn't make it to England.
Yeah, you know, he was a genuine fucking lunatic back when he was younger.
Maybe miss a match where Edge could have been in.
I think that was the match, wasn't it? When we were at Raw in 2000.
And then we got to see be at the record breaking.
Yeah, we were at Raw. I want to say 2005, 2006. I think it was something like that. Scheduled main event was Randy Orton versus Edge, with John Cena versus Shawn Michaels as the secondary main event.
When Backlash was going to be a four-way.
Yeah, but what actually ended up happening was Randy Orton was detained in Germany for smashing up a hotel room, so they wrote him off on TV, and that was when we got the infamous hour-long John Cena Shawn Michaels match.
And then they go and let Seth take that one because
and they let Seth beat it. So Mania at the moment, it just looks like we're going to have the only things we know for certain right now are Drew versus Brock and Edge versus Orton.
Charlotte to pick someone.
And Charlotte to pick someone. It could be Bayley. I mean, it could be.
Oh yeah, because that
as you said,
4 awesome issues. The only one you ain't had much of a rivalry with.
Yeah, it could be Bayley. I'd be okay with that. I think it's quite an underwhelming match. I don't know. I think it's like whatever.
I don't know. It depends how they end up telling the story, really.
Yeah, but it's just I don't think people are really buying heel Bayley. Also, Sasha's injured. That should be mentioned here. See, I mean, they could have gone down the route of Bayley versus Sasha. To be fair, with Bayley.
Yeah, but they've already done that.
Yeah.
Say different, and at the end of the day, Charlotte Bayley would be different.
My preferred match would be Charlotte versus Rhea, and go Becky versus Shayna.
You're stealing my idea from last year.
Yeah, but that would be my preferred. Just because looking at the landscape right now, last year I didn't really agree with you. I agreed that it should happen at some point in the future. Last year I didn't agree it was the right time.
It should have happened.
This year I think it's like that'd be a perfect time. I think Shayna coming in to challenge Becky would be the right time. It's like being one of Ronda's people and all that sort of thing. That would be perfect.
I think that's where Ron should come down and manage it.
Yeah, be great. But I think actually this WrestleMania could potentially shape up to be quite good. There's been rumours.
I'm hoping they improved the fucking advert for it, because those ships were just get a normal image of a wrestler, just put him somewhere.
Yeah, there's rumours about a TLC being on the card, but that happens most years where they rumour it and it never happens. Rumours about a TLC on the card with like the New Day and Hawkins and Ryder, those sort of people doing it, which I think would be kind of cool. And any TLC match is usually pretty decent, like on those sort of big shows. But whether or not they do it is another thing. But other than that, there's nothing really being pushed for Mania this year. Also at the Rumble, talking about something that happened at the Rumble, Matt Riddle.
Oh, Matt Riddle being Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle, yeah. So obviously Matt Riddle spent months, years now, calling out Brock and calling out Goldberg. Obviously Goldberg confronted him, I think what was it, Mania or SummerSlam, whatever it was.
The Saudi show, wasn't it?
Was it Saudi? Right, so he confronted him there, or SummerSlam. I think it was SummerSlam when he faced Dolph. Yeah, he confronted him at SummerSlam backstage then, and then at the Rumble, Brock went and confronted Riddle. Fortunately, apparently they weren't filming this one, so it's not going to be included in a WWE show. Where Brock basically told him to keep my name out of your mouth, stop tagging me in shit. Me and you are never going to work together ever. And Riddle then posted a video, or had a video posted on WWE PC where he said, "Bro, it ain't up to Brock. You know, ain't up to Brock. If those people in the back want the match to happen, then the match is going to happen."
I think it is up to Brock.
I think Brock, his creative control has the ability to be like, Riddle can go fuck himself, unless Vince throws another massive check at him, then Brock will probably go, fine,
but it'll be a bloody mess at the end.
Fine, but we're going to go out there and shoot, because I don't know. Riddle.
You're probably fine with that one, but there's also a Goldberg to come running down halfway through the match just to jump on him.
Riddle has like this, I don't know, he's got this inability to keep his mouth shut. I really like Riddle, and he's so laid back and whatever. But I think his personality, that laid back, hey, whatever, bro, sort of attitude, just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And like, of course, it's not going to sit well with someone like Brock, I think there's money in that match down the line, but
there was money in the fucking Lashley match. We never got that.
Yeah, that's true. Other little tidbits of news that we've had this week. So the Revival have apparently turned down another contract and have again asked for their release. They asked for their release in January 2019, and then were promised the world, were given the titles. They stuck around.
I had a feeling they were going to do that this match.
Yeah, and then they end up sticking around. They turned down contracts worth about $750,000 each per year for 5 years. And reportedly, the contracts they've just been offered are even higher in the $900,000 range. So it seems like they're probably on their way out, which, whatever at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good to them if they can go and do something good in AEW.
We've still got a notice, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. We also had Samoa Joe's injured. He's concussed from trying to
He's getting way too injured right now.
Well, I saw someone say it was like, it's basically WrestleMania tradition now since Joe signed that he gets injured just before Mania. He always gets written off before Mania.
I also realised where he's only just come back from injury, most people start looking a bit more, leaner, meaner.
Yeah, Joe never does.
He come back looking fatter.
Yeah, Joe never does. He never changes his gear, he never changes his music, he never changes his look in any way.
Well, no, he did actually look a lot more ripped when he first come back into NXT, when he was joined in NXT and was going for NXT. I know, fair enough, that one, you get to go to a gym every day.
Yeah.
But normally it's like, if you're injured, normally people put in a bit more, because they got a bit more time to effort and they've got to rehab a bit.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Joe
I
never
stood there
really
watching that and was like,
yeah.
You've got fatter and Kevin Owens is actually slimming down.
Yeah, weird. And also this week we had Andrade Cien Almas was suspended for his first violation of the wellness policy. We don't know what he took, but so they wrote Andrade off with Humberto leveling him out on the concrete. Apparently they didn't want to take the title off him, even though that was a title match, because it was a Paul Heyman call, and Paul Heyman just thought it wasn't far enough into the story to take it off him, put the belt on Humberto. So they've left it on Andrade for 30 days while it can't be on television, because that really furthers the story. doesn't it?
Well, it's like Brock Lesnar, so.
Yeah, it's so now they don't have a title on Raw.
So they do 24/7.
That's what I was about to say. Their top title on Raw right now is the fucking 24/7 title.
Well, they got the 24/7 title.
Or singles title, I should say.
Use. The women's tag team title, where she runs around.
Yeah, so the singles title.
Everyone's useless.
Yeah, your men's singles title is the 24/7 title right now.
I also realised this morning, actually, as well, at the same time, the women tag team champions can go on all shows, right?
And they never do.
And they've so far for like the last, well, I couldn't say much how they have been on Raw.
Yeah, Sasha and Bailey, when they had it, went to NXT. I think Asuka and Kairi Sane went to NXT for that one thing and then came back. What they called?
Iconics.
The Iconics, they went down to NXT.
How dare you forget
Yeah,
that?
I forgot their names, that's really bad. I really like the Iconics as well.
They're the most entertaining.
They haven't been on TV in ages, I keep forgetting. Yeah, they went down to NXT and didn't. And that was about it. They've not really travelled at all. But I think it's been a packed week in wrestling this week, a really packed week. It's only going to get even more ridiculous next week with the WWE reports. We've got Raw and SmackDown at AEW next week. It could be a really slow week, who knows? Let's hope. But no pay-per-views, so that's a plus. But that's it. That's it for this week. Join us next week for another edition of the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast. Head on over to Twitter and follow us at SEW_podcast. Head on over to Facebook. We'll have all of the coverage of the WWE Q4 report and 2019 report, all the fallout of that. Head on over and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, all those things. And we'll see you next time. We're out.